We all love to speculate about what characters could be included in the next Smash Bros. Game, but I find that fans, including myself at times, tend to focus on more likely or popular choices for newcomers. And that's why today I wanted to talk about 5 unique character ideas for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate that stray away from some of the typical characters you would expect to see in the series. And I'd love for you to let me know in the comment section down below what new characters you would want to be included in Smash Ultimate as well, and let's get a discussion going down there. And with that being said, let's get started. To begin this video, I want to talk about Paper Mario. Now I know that this would put us up to 3 Marios in Smash, and some people would be upset about this one, but I think it would be much more unique than the Marios that are already being included, hence why it's being included in this video. Now for those of you who aren't too familiar with one of Mario's formerly fantastic side series, Paper Mario is from another universe, one which has many objects that are obviously made out of paper. And this obviously gives him many attacks in the games that are based off of this concept. One of these objects that he uses very frequently is his hammer, and I think that this would be one of the primary attacks in his moveset. He could either use it for quick hits, charged ones, or both. In the games, he shows the ability to transform into a paper airplane, and I think this would work great as a form of aerial dodging. You see, there are so many ways that this character could be implemented that it would make him drastically different from the current Marios in Smash Bros. That I can't see many people getting upset over it. As for the style of character that Paper Mario would be, I would guess the floaty type because he is made of paper after all, and you probably know what paper does when it's in the air. And while he would be pretty floaty, he still would be relatively quick, and I think should have a similar level of strength to Mario, has to keep some slight similarities between them, while still maintaining that they are vastly different characters in the game. The Paper Mario series is very underrepresented outside of its own, and Smash Bros. Would be a great outlet for additional popularity. Then again, considering the diminishing quality of the titles, who knows if it's truly deserving of this increased exposure. But regardless, I love the character anyways. I love the original games, and I would be very happy to see this character included. Moving on to the next character, and for this one I chose Skull Kid. The Legend of Zelda series is the primary one that fans point to when they talk about deserving more representation in its characters. I mean, we are getting young Link back for Smash Ultimate, but we haven't gotten a brand new Zelda character since Brawl, and I think it's about time. Now, I did talk about Midna in another video about wanted Smash Bros. Characters, and she would be a very unique addition to the roster, but Skull Kid would also be one. The character possessed by the Majora's Mask who summons the terrifying moon to destroy the world in one of Zelda's classic games is a classic villain, who has a large cult following that campaigns for his inclusion. Despite his popularity with fans, he does stray away from the standard set by the Zelda characters currently in the game by not being a form of Link, Zelda, or Ganon. But this uniqueness can't stop him from being included because of the incredible moveset potential. Like the aforementioned Midna, Skull Kid appears as an assist trophy in Smash 4, and he demonstrates some of his uniqueness in what he does when summoned, as he will flip the stage upside down, thus reversing the way you play. And while not exactly this concept, I would like to implement some outside of the box and unorthodox types of moves into his moveset that would really make him stand out and show to everyone that he's completely deserving of a spot in the game. He would use some of the magic that he shows off in the Zelda series in his set and would play like a frail character with a relatively floaty feel, but would hit rather hard. I would love for any new Zelda character to be implemented into Smash, but one that's as amazing of a villain as Skull Kid is would be amazing. Up next, I'd like to talk about Yokai Watch, a franchise clearly inspired by Pokemon, which we'll get to in a minute, that has had great success in Japan, leading to some of its games to be ported over to the rest of the world. And has clearly done well through this process because Level 5 studios are continuing to port over these games, and a community around the series is slowly beginning to develop here over the last few years. For this video, I picked the mascot of the series, Jibanyan, as a character who would be fun to see in Smash. Including the mascot of a series which is huge in Japan would make all those fans happy as they recognize who it is easily, and would help to grow the brand outside of Japan so it makes complete sense. Not to mention how Jibanyan could work vastly differently to most of the other characters in Smash, making him a very unique addition to the roster. Every yokai in the series is based around a specific theme, and the backstory surrounding Jibanyan involves the character being hit by a car repeatedly and trying to stop it using its signature Paws of Fury attack. And this ultimate move would definitely make for a great final smash. Some of the other attacks that Jibanyan uses in the games could be implemented as quick strikes, as this smaller sized character would obviously very fast and lightweighted. Not to mention that in the Yokai Watch games, there are so many alternative versions to Jibanyan that are other yokai, and these would make for perfect alternate costumes for the character in Smash. It's almost like Jibanyan was made to be included in a game like this, and with the growing popularity of the series outside of Japan now, would be the perfect opportunity for it to get represented. The next character that I want to talk about is a representative from the Pokemon series, and because I wanted to focus on some unique picks today, I won't be talking about someone like Decidueye or Lycanroc, but instead I wanted to talk about a Pokemon from the original 151 that could easily work great in the game, and this Pokemon is Gengar. Gengar is the original Ghost type Pokemon from a line of just 3 in the original generation, and now we will get to see that again when the next Pokemon games come out. The first one's on the Nintendo Switch, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Now, regardless of your opinion on these games so far, as they tend to be rather controversial amongst fans, it would still make sense for Pokemon from those games to be put in Smash if they don't want to go through the obvious route of selecting them on from the 7th generation. I did make a video in the past giving my full thoughts on the Let's Go games, and I said in those videos that it makes sense to start small in terms of a Pokemon roster if you're really targeting those new fans who are just jumping in the series, because they will get more familiar with the Pokemon in a smaller roster, and Gengar is definitely a recognizable one from the original cast. The Ghost and Poison type Pokemon could use some physical attacks that surprise foes such as Shadow Punch or even Poison Jab, but I feel that he should focus more on the longer range attacks, as in the competitive scene he is definitely a special attacker. Shadow Ball, Sludge Bomb, and Sludge Wave, take your pick. There are many moves that could easily be implemented into Gengar's set from the main series games. Obviously, the final smash would allow him to transform into the literal uber Mega Gengar, and I hope it would work like his special move in Pokkén Tournament, as that would make for an amazing looking move to KO opponents with. Gengar is nothing short of iconic, but would also break from the mold of Pokemon characters that we've seen, as it doesn't represent the newest generation, and rather adds to the characters who are representing the past. And finally, on to the last character that I want to talk about in this video, Captain Toad. More recently, I've been seeing Captain Toad gain support to be included in the next Smash Bros. Game, but if you know anything about the concept of this character at all, you'd realize that he can't jump because of the immense weight of his backpack. So how would you include a character like that into a fighting game in which one of the primary concepts is the ability to jump? Well, there are many possibilities given by fans of the series for how Captain Toad could work in this situation. The first is that he can't jump outside of his recovery, and if that's the case, it would be pretty difficult to make him a good character in the game, considering that for the purposes of being faithful to the original character, you would have to make him slower moving as well. So another option is to just ditch the heavy bag entirely, thus making it so this character could jump with no problems. But that also isn't faithful to the original character, and you might as well just call him a regular Toad. But my third idea is the one that I like the most because it blends both of those concepts together. What if Captain Toad had the ability to throw his bag as an attack, like a projectile? And when not wearing it, he gains the ability to jump and recover and move much more quickly. But he becomes much more frail, and his attacks aren't as strong as before. Then, when he puts his bag back on, he slows down and can't jump, but significantly powers up, and hints against him won't do much damage and have a very little knockback. This, I believe, would provide a good amount of balance to the character, while not straying too far away from the original idea surrounding it. I know that Captain Toad cannot actually just throw away his bag in the game, but it would make sense to include a mechanic like this in the Smash Bros. Situation. This would give him a unique type of moveset that diversifies him further from the rest of the cast, and therefore gives people a stronger desire to try him out in a couple of games. The Captain Toad game has been ported from the Wii U to the 3DS and Switch recently, and it only makes sense to give this variation of the already popular Toad character some more recognition while further spicing up Ultimate's roster. That's really the goal of any of these 5 characters being included, because they represent their respective series some more, and would provide some new riffs in the gameplay that I think every fighting game needs. I talked previously about 10 other characters that I want to be included in Super Smash Bros., and you can check that out by clicking the link on the left. You could also see the real reasons behind Daisy's inclusion in Smash Ultimate by clicking the link on the right. And don't forget to click the round subscribe icon in the middle to see more content like this really soon. I've been Siiroth, and thank you so much for watching.